Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Saloni, please say something about yourself.
So my name is Saloni Chhabra. I'm 24 years old. I was born and brought up in Gurugram, Haryana. I did my undergrad in economics from SRCC, Delhi University. While in college, I was actively involved in debating and other activities. Post that, I've been preparing for this exam.
Gurugram.
So,
So, why civil services?
Sir, I believe that this is one of the opportunities that perfectly balances having a good career with getting great job satisfaction in terms of tangible changes that one can bring. So, for that reason, I was inclined towards civil services.
Leaders are born or trained?
Sir, I believe it's a combination of both. While one can have certain aptitude for leadership, but over a period of time, they have to be trained.
So, you are basically joining to have to make change in the public life.
So,
What are the policy initiatives which have attracted your attention in the recent past?
so. Sir, one is the Jal Jeevan Mission. One is the Jal Jeevan Mission.
Okay.
So now functional household tap connections are about 75%. Second, sir, is the PLI scheme. I believe it's an excellent initiative for increasing India's share in manufacturing. Third, sir, is the India Semiconductor Mission. I believe that is a great step ahead in forging India's leadership in the AI sector. So recently these have been the initiatives.
What is this old pension scheme and the new pension scheme, and what kind of the issue is that?
So we opted. So earlier there were defined benefits in terms of one getting a fixed pension of 50% of their last drawn salary under the old pension scheme. However, later it was transformed into new pension scheme due to certain constraints with respect to fiscal space of the government, wherein employees are also supposed to contribute to the pension fund. And secondly, there are no defined benefits. It is linked to market returns that the pension funds contribute to. So this is the distinction between.
So,
the two.
what's wrong with the new? Sometimes you may be getting more than what
Sir.
you may be getting in the old pension scheme.
So I do think that it is a prudent move, particularly because the markets in India are likely to do very well in the next few years. So,
Okay. What is green bond?
sir, green bonds are bonds or debt instruments that are issued for raising money for certain green activities in terms of investing in solar or renewable energy or other environmental sensitive
Who
practices.
raises that? Who issues these bonds?
So I believe, I'm not exactly sure, but I think banks can do that at their own level, and
Banks can do at their own level.
if I'm not wrong, sir.
Okay. Have you heard of the waste warriors?
So I've not heard of waste warriors, but I can take a dictionary level.
What is that?
So waste warriors could be individuals who are actively combating the menace of waste management, ill management, and are working in resolving.
Any idea about garbage girl?
I'm so sorry, sir.
How do you use technology in governance? Last question.
So one is that technology, we can digitize almost all our processes in terms of creating an interface between the government and the people. So the government becomes more approachable to the people. Secondly, sir, in grievance redressal, technology can have a very significant role. We saw that in Haryana when we have CM window and Saral Haryana portal. So on those lines. Other than that, sir, there can be other benefits in terms of monitoring and surveillance.
Apart from DBT, how does it help in reducing corruption?
So,
Any idea? Which are the other portals which have helped in reducing the corruption?
so, so one could be the government e-marketplace, wherein government has digitized its procurement. Um, Secondly, sir,
E-procurement portal.
sir, GM. So the G,
GEM.
sir.
Saloni, so now elections are approaching. So AI is big threat. So what do you feel? How big is the AI threat to the upcoming elections?
So I do think that AI can have a significant influence, as we saw in the Cambridge Analytica case in the US elections. So particularly in terms of increasing the quantum of fake news, particularly in terms of generating deep fakes, and in terms of creating echo chambers on social media. So that can lead to certain bits of cognitive engineering in minds of people. So it is a threat, but not as potent as it would be in the eventual elections. But in
What
these
government is planning to control this?
so, so one is that the government has the PIB fact check unit, which actively dispels fake news online. Second, sir, in the IT rules also there were certain there were certain requirements for IT intermediaries like Facebook and other social media apps to ensure that such fake news is not dispelled. And recently there was an announcement by the government in terms of generative AI and
Acha, now tell me, second related question, what do you feel? Is AI going to take away jobs or simultaneously going to create different kind of jobs?
so. So I think that while all other technologies that we've had in the past could only take over the physical labor that men could do, AI has a significant advantage in terms of also taking over the mental labor that humans are capable of doing. So in that regard, there are a vast variety of jobs, routinized jobs that AI can take away. There can be some jobs that will be created in terms of AI management or nursing jobs or jobs where you require a larger human touch. But in terms of proportion, I do believe that it can get significantly affected.
Acha, now tell me, when Fed tightens the economy by increasing the rate of interest, we see a lot of capital outflow from emerging economies, including India. So why does it take place?
So, investors believe that it is a safer avenue to invest in the US economy. Secondly, there are very few threats with respect to appreciation or depreciation of dollars. So, it is seen as a safer avenue which is offering better returns.
Recently, I have read that that kind of situation in India is diminishing. Some economist says that kind of problem is not there with Indian economy now. Why? What has happened in case of India?
So, so I think it could be because of the fact that Indian markets are doing very well. There is better regulation in Indian markets, and we're the economy growing at the fastest pace right now. Our companies are doing well, so perhaps because of that reason.
Okay, my last question. So, we see equal opportunity for the women in every field. The women are there in armed forces also, excepting 3 fighting arms. At the same time, women seek reservation in parliament and legislative assembly.
So,
How, how do you feel? How justified it is?
so, so I believe that there is a lot of role of money and muscle power in Indian politics, and in that regard, it is a significant hindrance to women's participation in the parliament. We have one of the lowest participation in terms of 14% women are MPs in our Lok Sabha. So in that regard, I do think that it is a justified demand, and it will help in women empowerment.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Sonali, you have mentioned that dog walking.
So,
Now, when it comes to dogs, particularly in the present milieu, no, very extreme positions are being taken. The dog lovers, they do not want anything to be happening to the dogs, and Maneka Gandhi is spearheading it. Whereas, in the wake of many unfortunate instances, one senior citizen being killed by dogs, number of instances of boys, children being mauled by dogs. What are your views on it?
Sir, I do think that currently the discourse around taking care of the problem is more reactionary in nature. We need to take prudent measures like animal birth control and sterilization. I believe it is a measure.
Already
that-
it is going on. It has been going on for decades. Municipal corporations are doing animal birth control.
Sir,
Anything new that you would like to suggest?
So one, I think that it is happening at a very slow pace, so that can be paced up. In terms of new suggestions, I believe that we can create certain dog shelters, decentralized dog shelters, and from these shelters, people can be prompted to adopt strays, so that can be an immediate solution in this regard, in my opinion.
Some judgment has come by the Supreme Court recently, putting the responsibility on those who feed the dogs. Are you aware of it? What does it say?
So the Supreme Court said that there is no legal responsibility on the feeders. However, it does suggest that feeders have to take more care of not feeding dogs in certain areas where children frequent, and that can be done.
And
So,
what else? It makes a very significant departure from the earlier rulings.
that I'm not aware of, but
थोड़ा पढ़ लीजिएगा. Strength training you are doing now. Strength training or resistance training is very common. What is the principle in strength training? How does the muscles get built up?
Sir, it's the fact that when you lift weights, those muscles break. So, if you give them adequate
The
protein,
muscles break or the cells constituting the muscles break?
so the cells constituting the muscles.
Muscles don't break.
Sir, I'm so sorry, sir. Sir, and when you give them adequate rest and protein, they rebuild themselves, and when they rebuild themselves, they are stronger. So muscles are.
In the Indian context, what should be the content of protein per gram per kg of weight? What is the recommended?
So a minimum of 1.2 grams per kg of body weight. Although if you're working out actively, it should be as high as 1.8 grams per kg of body weight.
You use the word just now, some cognitive.
Engineering or something.
Have you heard of the cognitive dissonance?
Sir.
What does it mean? Who coined it? And
So I wouldn't know who coined it, but it is a situation where what one thinks and what one does is not in sync with each other, and in that sense, it can lead to cognitive dissonance.
no, not at all. Please read up again.
Okay, sir.
He is doing what he thinks, but it is not in sync with the reality.
Okay,
Leon Festinger, go through it anyway.
sorry, sir.
All the best. Good.
Okay. All right, Saloni. Saloni, what do you understand by inequality? What kind of inequalities are there?
Ma'am, my understanding of inequality is that when different sections of the society don't have an
Yeah,
equal or an
yeah.
an equitable share in the
Yeah.
social resources
Yeah.
of the society,
Yeah.
it is inequality. There are various kinds of inequality,
yeah.
Ranging from class-based to caste-based to gender-based. So there are multiple inequalities.
So, and economic inequality, yes. So, there is an inequality report which is brought out by a certain agency.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. You
Yes, ma'am.
seen that?
Yes, ma'am. It's the, I'm sorry, global.
Never mind who takes it out. Okay. What is the sum and substance of it?
Ma'am, the idea is that
yeah.
it tabulates what percentage of resources in the country are held by which segments of the society. For example, the top 10% hold how much wealth in the country, or how much.
Okay, for one, and it also talks about as to who bears the burden of taxes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and some of it's Oxfam basically.
Yes.
Yeah, and they've spoken about certain section of a society. Which is that, and why is it so?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, they've spoken about, since
Yeah.
India relies a lot on indirect system of taxation,
Yeah.
they've spoken about how the poorest segments, I
Yeah.
would not be able to recall the numbers,
Yeah,
bear a burden of
Yeah.
the taxation, and
yeah.
they're paying more as compared to what the richer sections are paying in the proportion of taxes.
In proportion to the income.
Ma'am.
As a percent, they're paying a higher percentage,
Yes, ma'am.
no, in proportion to
Yes.
what they earn.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now, being a woman, there's also gender inequality.
Yes, ma'am.
Where does India rank there?
Ma'am, I wouldn't know the ranking of India.
Okay,
in-
okay, it's not very, it's not a great, number. It's 120, latest, I think you can always check, 127 out of 146. Okay.
Okay.
So there is a global gender gap report also, which you can,
Yes.
check out on that. Now, since you're from Haryana, and here Haryana, the, ratios are sometimes highly skewed. So, can you share any, like, what is the male female and what is the MMR and the IMR?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, as far as the sex ratio is concerned, now as per the last NFHS,
Yeah.
it has gone up to 926 per thousand.
Okay,
So,
not
which is
bad,
a
okay.
positive
Yeah,
improvement.
yeah,
As far as IMR is concerned, it's about 33 per thousand.
Okay.
The MMR numbers, I'm not certain now.
Okay, fair enough. You can always read up on that. Now, just tell me quickly, what do you understand by multidimensional poverty?
Ma'am, multidimensional poverty refers to the idea that poverty must not be singularly viewed as lack of
Yeah.
income,
Yeah.
but there are multiple aspects
Yeah.
like access to health resources, education resources, and various standard of living resources
Okay.
like cooking, fuel, sanitation,
Okay, okay.
housing,
So,
etc.
how many indicators are there?
Ma'am, in the global index, there are 10 indicators. In the
Right.
Indian index, we've added 2 more, so there
Two
are 12.
more indicators. So, why do you think 2 more indicators have been added?
Ma'am, I think they're relevant to Indian context in terms of banking access and
Okay.
in terms of MMR. So,
Okay, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. All right. Thanks.
thank you, ma'am.
Saloni, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Doing very well, okay? Keep it up. This Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Abhiyan, when was it launched?
So, it was launched in 2015.
Why was Panipat chosen as the place to launch it?
So, Panipat at that time was the district with the lowest sex ratio in the country. So, for that reason.
Very good. What was the number then?
Sir, in Panipat, I will not be able to recall that.
Okay, no problem. All right. Moving on now to something else. All right. Economics honors from one of the top institutes, but didn't have the confidence to take up economics as your optional subject.
Sir.
Why?
Sir, actually, I had chosen economics as my optional. I didn't do very well, and then the next year I didn't get passed, so I got interested in sociology in the meanwhile, and I thought I'd do well.
A strategic move.
So,
Okay. Now, sociology is an interesting subject, isn't it? What interests you the most in sociology?
so I think there is one can find what one reads on ground. There are various phenomena that you read in sociology textbooks, and then you can spot those phenomena in and around you. So I believe that, and particularly the study of gender and caste is what interests me in sociology.
Okay, very good. Mahatma Gandhi or Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the better social reformer according to Saloni?
So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.
Why?
Sir, I believe his opinions were much more pragmatic in nature. He understood that we have to make certain constitutional safeguards, certain constitutional changes in order to ensure the alleviation of the poorest and the most deprived castes of the country. So that and Gandhian view in terms of social reform relies more on Hriday Parivartan or transformation of heart, which I believe is a very slow way of reforming and a utopian vision. of
Okay,
it.
okay. Now, would you agree if I say that the institution of parliament has been diluted of late?
So there could be certain points in order to substantiate that statement. So particularly that the bills that are being passed on to parliamentary committees are down to the lowest number at about 11% or 15%. Secondly, sir, the number of sittings in the parliament are also very low lately, the lowest in the 17 Lok Sabhas. So in that regard, I do believe that there is some dilution of parliament.
What are the sessions of parliament? How many are there in a year?
So there are 3 sessions: budget session, monsoon session, and the winter session.
And you mentioned committees. What are the two types of committees in Parliament?
So the standing committee and the ad hoc committee. If
Permanent committee and ad hoc committee, isn't it?
sir.
What are examples?
So standing committees, the permanent committees are committee on estimates, committee on public sector undertakings, committee on ethics. Ad hoc committees are constituted as per purpose.
Very good. Now, you know, UK in 2023 saw a lot of illegal migrants from India. 2022 the number was 0. In 2023 we are in the top 10, and you know, keeping company with the likes of Sudan and other war-torn areas. What does it say about India?
Sir, one is that it reflects about high youth unemployment in the country, because if I'm not wrong, it's mostly the youth that must be migrating to UK because of this reason. Second is that there are certain scamsters that are proliferating in society that we're allowing to engage in certain activities. So there could be a law and order problem there that we could rectify, sir.
Acha. Finally, we are on the verge of another supply chain disruption being touted by many. Why?
Sir, pertaining to the Red Sea crisis and the Houthi
Okay,
crisis.
yes, you're on the right track. Go on.
Sir, so the Red Sea route is being utilized particularly for oil-related logistics. So, in that reason, it is being controlled by the Houthi rebels who operate out of Yemen, and they've constantly attacked various merchant vessels, and one of the UK's vessels also
So, what
sank.
is happening as a result of that?
So that is also leading to supply chain disruptions.
How?
Sir, one is that companies and countries have to opt for alternative route.
Very good. What
Particularly
else?
to the,
One more.
so secondly is that pricing is
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
thank you, sir.